Hey, everybody. Michelle is here enjoying this this Sunday evening, winding down. But I always say I want to stay up later. I usually get my behind in the bed as soon as I say that. But anyway, I want to stay up a little later. Let's see if that works. Because I get up so early. And then I assume I can stay up later, which, you know, now that I have my sleeping patterns back, my body sends me into bed at a certain time. No more of those 1 hour sleeping. Those days are gone. My body wants at least 5 hours. And so I get that at least. And then sometimes if I need to take a nap, I take a nap. And so I just listen to my body and let my body direct me. But I wanted to talk about dating. I laugh because, like I said, everything's always about interpersonal relationships, right? And I just like to tell you my theories and opinions and my experience, and then you can swipe and go listen to other people, and that's the beauty of it. Because, like I said, everything's self will. You can learn something from everybody, but you got to be the one responsible though for being properly judging what people are saying to you and properly discerning it and make sure it's logical, rational, reasonable, okay, that it's understanding, it's clear and effective, and it makes sense. It's a possibility. That's all. Stay away from all of this. These people talking this magical success which doesn't exist. These magical moments with people that is difficult, but yet people come on and say all this and that and the other. So, and I notice how things have not changed in so many ways, you know. But it was like in 2012 is when I knew that things were really going downhill when it came to dating. My goodness, because like I said, I had no issue meeting people, none at all. But for some reason in 2012, it was very difficult for me to meet people, and and I don't know what that was about. Um, it was like it was like it was a lot of catfishing going on that I didn't understand, ghosting, and I was thinking, wow, what in the world's going on? I never used to have these issues before. I used to be able to meet people and boom, and that's blah blah blah. But I noticed it was being very difficult. I mean, it was a difficult process, and I'm thinking, wow, what is this all about? And so it was just a cause and effect, basically. It was just a introduction to how the interpersonal relationships were deteriorating and becoming more degenerate because I kept hearing about how people were getting robbed. They go meet somebody somewhere and they get robbed. They get raped, get drugged. That was happening a lot too. People were being drugged. They didn't know what happened to them, and thankfully none of that happened to me per se. None of that. But I did get mixed up with this sociopath, psychopath, narcissistic. But this was more on a business related. You know, I it was it should have been just business only, but this person was making it into something more. And then once they realized I wasn't really feeling it, I mean I wasn't. And oh Lord, oh boy, that's when and so that's how that's like I said, that's how it's feeling like okay, something's going on here with interpersonal relationships. It was just everything was so degenerate, and it became risky and dangerous with these apps. So I stopped using them. I haven't used a dating app since 2012. Yeah, and I vowed not to anymore, and I haven't. Because that, like I said, there's some manipulation going on with all of it, and and they do things to lure you into these kind of. So it's just manipulation, and then we all got kind of complacent and didn't want to really and overwhelmed more so than anything We just want, we just wanted things to be instant. Okay, let me flip these pictures. And see, during that time, um, I wasn't, there was no swiping per se. There was just, a page of people, and you just read their profile, and then boom, you decide. But and I knew something was going on because it was hard for people. It was hard to meet them. They would be on, they'd love to email back and forth, and even text you back and forth, sending you these pictures, claiming that that's who they were. But it was next to impossible to meet them, though. They never wanted to really necessarily meet. That was made an excuse as to why they couldn't meet you in person, because that's how I like to do it. But eventually, you know what I mean? I'll see you, okay, but eventually I want to meet you, and that eventually to meet him was that was like, forget it. It just wasn't gonna happen, or it never happened until, like I said, I got a hold of this psychopath, narcissistic person back in, I think it was 2011 or 12. But anyway, that was resolved, and hallelujah, that's gone. But prior to that, I got my, I knew, like I said, I kept meeting these weird kind of exchanges where, yeah, they'll talk and text you all day long and sending you these pictures and this and that and the other. And for me, I like to, if we're nearby, let's meet up. But that never would happen. And so it turned out that this person was ghosting me. They knew me because we worked together, and they were ghosting me. And they were pretending they were this and that, and they would somehow get pictures. You know how easy it was to get someone's picture and photo, and create profiles and stuff. And it still happens today. The only thing I can say about those kind of encounters is that I was genuine, and what was coming out of my mouth was, for the most part, truthful. So what can you do? So all I could do is control my half of how I handle a certain person or certain people that would like to play games and manipulate all the time. I just stay true to who I am, and that's what I suggest everybody else do. I mean, yes, it's frustrating, it's wasteful, sometimes, and usually I think these were free sites and some were paid sites, but anyway, but the fact of the matter is, I just stayed genuine and honest, and I told them genuine and honest stuff. So they couldn't hold anything really against me, except to, get some entertainment out of it. It was just entertainment for this person. And the person I knew, I finally figured out who this person was who did it. And I saw why she may have thought all this was entertaining and funny, is because nobody paid her no attention at all. None. She had became so obese, seriously obese, where she couldn't even walk. So chances are she needed some type of interaction with people. Okay. And so that's why she decided to interact into this deception of catfishing people. She doesn't know that I know who she is, but I know. I figured it out. Because I know how to do that, but like I said, I didn't get all offended by it. I was annoyed more than anything, and confused as to how people have that much time on their hands to do that. Well, this particular person did have that much time because of the type of job they had. So, and I won't say no more about that. But like I said, this person was she had gotten severely obese to where she couldn't walk. So what was she going to do with her time? But, she's decided to degenerate herself and started catfishing people. And I guess that entertained her. That was her entertainment. Otherwise, she wouldn't have had no type of conversations with people. So in other words, she could be something that she wasn't. And we all do that all the time. We create these fake personas. So that's why you have to be really careful about what you're asking for with people, because a lot of people will morph themselves into that just to get you. And then eventually their true colors start shining through. And then you've wasted all that time. So yeah, I figured out who she was. I didn't let her know that I knew, but I understood why she may have resorted to that type of, carrying on and deception. Because like I said, most people who decide to enter, usually the people that decide to manipulate, be deceptive, and be fraudulent, is that first of all, there has to be some type of self-hatred for someone to be to decide to get in that type of environment, in my opinion. Why would you want to put yourself through it? So to me, it sounds like either they are unconscious, well, they are unconscious, right? Because I think if someone was conscious of their deception and manipulation, that would be scary. I mean, actually, but I don't know. Some of it can be just sociopath, psychopath, narcissistic too. But it's like a self-hatred. Um, and so this is a form of projection. Let me pretend I'm somebody else just so I can have a conversation with people. And that's actually pretty sad when you think about it. If you look at it from from a compassionate sense, or empathy, putting yourself in their shoes. I mean, I just couldn't imagine, you know. So so yes, I was annoyed. But my point is, that's when I saw that dating and stuff like that was just turning into a game for people. It's a game. And I think some people have come to the conclusion that, look, nobody's gonna go out with me looking like this, because like I said, she was obese, seriously obese, and she probably felt, what do I have to lose, you know? And like I said, I worked with this person, and and unfortunately, she was pretty invisible to me. All I could, so and there's no intention there that to make someone invisible, but I mean, there was no interest, and she probably knew that. She knew I wasn't interested, so she probably figured, well, let me go through this way just to have a conversation and pretend I'm somebody else, and maybe, what I mean, how sad that is and how manipulative that is. But a lot of people do that. And like I said, that's why catfishing. So we all have a reason to be frustrated with what's going on in the dating, especially if you use apps, because there's just a lot of games, there's a lot of manipulation, deceptions, and I had enough of it, because it was just not the same as what I remember. I had more success with people that I heard their voice over the phone, and those are the people I still have some kind of connection with. This is how I met them that way back in the day. And to see somebody on the video helps, but a lot of that's deep fake. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it's manipulation. A lot of people, know how to put on these filters on their, the filters where they, they look a certain way and their eyes look, come on now, So yes, it is a lot of manipulation, sadly. And we're just wasting people's time. And the people that are involved in this deception and manipulation and stuff like that, it's just self-hatred. They have self-hatred within themselves to put anybody through all of that. And playing all these games and knowing that those pictures do not belong to them, that they don't look nothing like those pictures. And they know how to manipulate the pictures to where, so it's understandable. Trust me. I understand completely, but I would get off the apps. But I know I may be touching somebody's bottom line, but I don't care. I don't think the people that participate in creating these apps care either. They're all intertwined anyway. You see somebody on one app, you'll see them on another. All right? So, it's about that face-to-face, going into like-minded groups, like-minded events, um, and do what you do. Back in the day, we used to meet people where in parks, at events. Some people go in churches, but you have to be just very, very careful about that. There's a lot of sheep and wolves clothing that run around in those kind of circles. Unfortunately, you can create your own group and invite people, or you just got to be creative. I keep saying it. You have to be creative. But again, you need to know who you are, what you are, why you are, what you want. Have you balanced your masculine and feminine energy? What type of energy do you want? What does this person look like? What you settle for? You got to ask a whole lot of questions. Okay, and then do no thought meditation on it, where you're just sitting there and you're not thinking about anything about that. Or you can do a visualization first of the person, or the type of qualities or virtues or those kind of things that you look for. I wouldn't focus so much on income, because like I said, sometimes that may become valueless, or no value at all when you're worrying about the income. Visualize what this person looked like. Put pictures up of people that you like, and why do you like that person? What's the quality? It's a whole lot of work if you're willing to put into it. But again, everybody that I've met, and then I've eventually had something going on with them, they're not gonna give me everything I want. I have to, I still got to do my own part as well to keep developing myself. Most of the time, they just offer me a lot of companionship, which is good. Sometimes conversation, which is good, and just association, a bonding. So we just need to be realistic also, because if you're at a certain age, come on now, be realistic about that. I think if you're over 30, you need to be being concerned about, are you gonna make it to 50? Are you gonna make it to 60? Are you gonna make it to 70? You know what I mean? So you need to consider all those factors and know that we're not 18 anymore, we're not 21 anymore, once you go over 30. So those expectations when you were 18, 21, 25 are out the window. You need to create new expectations. Those kind of people don't exist when you were at a certain age, and we need to acknowledge that. Meaning, you know, I mean, because in most cases those people are already taken. They've already taken somebody else is with them, and they're not coming out of that. So I would just be realistic about it, not put so much pressure on yourself, and not blame yourself either. There's plenty of factors to consider, which is causing us not to come together in interpersonal relationships. And I've said it, I don't know how many times, but I have to repeat it. It's the overpopulation. It's the intentional overwhelm. It's the unrealistic expectations, this delusion. Okay, people are in a lot of delusion. They're not really looking at themselves in the mirror and being very honest about what they see. Okay, and it's just a whole lot of factors to consider. But at the same time, be gentle with yourself, and be able to laugh at yourself too. If you can't laugh at yourself when you are attempting to create a destiny or create a goal, or if you can't laugh about certain things, then that's a problem too, in my opinion. You don't want to be so because that means you may be too extreme about it. And being too extreme and being too and ruminating and overthinking about it, just visualize it, and then let it be. So I learned how to self please yourself and whatever that means to you. So I do wish everyone the best, though, in that regard with the interpersonal relationships, because I know that's a big thing, whether people want to admit it or not. And so I have some compassion for that. And and I just wish everyone, the best in so many ways. But it does start with being realistic, okay, and changing your expectations of people, and not worrying so much about what type of job they have or what type of income. It's like, can this person provide me what I need? But you need to know what you need, and I think that's more where the issues are, as far as you not knowing exactly what you need, and that's why it's so hard for you to know what you want, or what's available, or what's realistic for you, and blah blah blah. All right, so hey, that's my theories and opinion. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I don't expect people to respond, because I turned off that feature where people, I think I have, where people give comments or not. I think I turned that feature off, because it's not more about having back and forth conversation. It's just something to think about and something to consider. That's all. Just something to think about, something to consider, something to, not make a issue over. That's why I put these videos out. And the right person will hear it, feel it, and see it. Right? All right. So it's getting a little warm in this room, so I'm gonna go ahead and say send peace and love to everyone. I think this is it for the evening, because I got a lot of things I want to do before I nod off. So peace and love, everyone, and universal love. And trust me, I'll be back.